So then, you're not quite dead. This is Tortage, the pirate haven, jewel of the Barachian Isles. To the west is Atlantis, silent and dead under the open ocean. Eastwards lies Hyboria, where the world's doom rises. But your life is ending, even as I speak. The slave master from your vessel runs through the wilderness to reach the city. Slaves are forbidden within the walls, and if he tells the guards your ship carried a cargo of flesh, you will be left outside to rot in the jungle. If you enter Tortage City, find the old seer, Nadini. Tell her Calantes of Ibis sent you. Now go, find Sadur. Buy your life with his death.
Hello guys, Rex here and welcome to my first video on Bite Size Gaming. So pretty much what I'll be doing with this series is that I'm gonna make 1 or 2 videos on a game. It will usually be a game that's just been released, but just because it's my first video on this series, I wanted to feel a little bit more comfortable, and I'm not gonna be doing it with Age of Conan. If you haven't noticed it yet or read the title, Age of Conan. It was released in 2008, and I know a little bit about this game already, so it should do pretty good for my first video. So I'll be explaining the basics of this game, as well as showing you the gameplay. So you guys, if you could decide to try it out, then you have me as a little basis there. But the first thing that I want you guys to look at is the graphics, right? So as you can see, this game is beautiful. Now, this game was considered to be the top in terms of graphical abilities. I mean, you can see for yourself, this game is beautiful. Now, you have to compare this game to other MMOs. Other MMOs such as World of Warcraft or Warhammer Online or EVE or any of those free ones that you probably have seen before. Millions of them. But I mean, because this game is an MMO, you cannot compare it to other games like Dead Island or Crysis or whatever. There's so much information that's being transferred in this in an MMO like this. So even still, I mean, you can see just the level of graphics is ridiculous. This is probably still the top in terms of graphics. I'm not sure about right now, but back in 2008, it definitely was. So I'll be explaining about this game as I go. So first things first, let's just go ahead and help this chick out.
A friendly face amongst so much ugliness.
So, I mean, the first thing though, you can tell right away is voiceovers. MMOs, like 99% of the times, they never usually do bring voiceovers to the table. This is just because there's the huge amount of content that these MMOs bring. It's almost impossible to actually put a voice on every single quest. Now, as you can see, for you guys that are actually interested in Star Wars, because it's made by BioWare, they are actually putting voiceovers on every single dialogue. So that's like a big sell for that game. But this game actually did it first, and you'll be able to see it all throughout the areas that I'll be visiting. I'm not sure if they actually did that on every single area, but definitely on this first sequences you will see that.
Free me, I beg you. Those brutes set upon me in a pack less than an hour ago, and ran me down as I fled. Animal, he was a captive of the tyrant of Tortage. Though I managed to flee after 3 days in the less than tender care of his Red Hunt soldiers. I hoped to hide outside the city until they forgot about me. But I was chased down by the scavenger and his raiders. The scavenger has the key. He's a petty raider captain from Tortage. He and his small gang are nearby. Slit that bastard's throat and loot his corpse. Please. Don't leave me here. Please, hurry. He's on the beach picking through the bones of the sunken ship. Gods go with you.
So, you can tell that this game is actually, like, it's not for little kids, right? This game was actually released for with a rating for 18 years and older folk, and you will see that through the dialogues. It's very crude and raw, and I mean, and you can actually see boobs in this game. There's a lot of blood and gore, and I mean, you'll see that as I go. But I just have that in mind. This game was not made for children. But I'll go ahead and explain the combat. Now, it's a little laggy here because my internet is really not that good. Even though the graphics are on max. But you'll see here, the combat is a little different. Do you see the three little keybinds that I have down there? Oh, there I leveled up. Let me just pick up the key here. You will see here that I have upper left attack, overhead attack, and upper right attack. Now, usually on MMOs, you usually just have to right-click the guy, and then your little tune will actually auto-attack it by itself. You know, games like WoW, you actually have to move towards the guy and attack it, but all in all, the actual computer does everything. All that attacks for you. In this game, you have to click on the keys to actually swing whatever weapon you have. So that was like a new revolutionary thing they actually did for this game. It was the first thing that actually caught my eye. You actually have to do something when you battle. Now you'll see those little white things. Let me just go ahead and fight this guy. Those white things just around the actual character, the woman, that represents the shields, or I guess you could say where the enemy is expecting an attack. And that's really what's important in this game, because they made the actual combat revolve around the fact that you can actually direct your attacks from one section of the body to another. You will see that if I keep attacking this guy from the left, he's gonna swing all of his defenses towards the left. Hopefully you can see it. You can see it well here. I don't know if you can, but the trick here to battle is that you actually have to attack from the area that he's not defending in, and that's what made this game great. Though you have many abilities, and all of the abilities actually hit a section of the body. And you had to decide really what section of the body to attack, depending on where the actual enemy directed his defenses from. Now this, as you can see, it actually had an impact on the PvP of the game, because you can actually move your defenses as well. But I'll get into that later. First, let's just go ahead and beat these crocodiles. You can see that this game is it's pretty much just it's really similar to other MMOs in terms of the actual basics of the game. Like you actually hit them, level up, and loot items. It's really what you would expect from an MMO. The main difference about this game, obviously, is just the actual combat system and the graphics, and that was what actually differentiated this game from other games of its generation, and probably up until now. There's still no game that I can see that really goes toe-to-toe in what Age of Conan actually does really well, which are the graphics and the combat system. It's really, really dynamic. As I level up again there. Let's see here. Alright, let's go ahead and pick up this treasure here. It's a bunch of just items. Let's take those. Alright. So we got ourselves a ring, and just some things we can sell. Again, I want to reiterate on the graphics. It's beautiful stuff. You will not see that in any game, any MMO that's out already. And I do apologize if I sound a little different today. I'm a little sick. I hope that doesn't get in the way of my commentary. Let's see here. So we got ourselves some pants. Another great thing about this game, that there's a lot of customization in the game. There's different gear that you can equip, and everything looks really nice in the game. I mean, it looks real, which is I guess one of the biggest sellouts of this game. It actually looks, I mean, not real, but I mean compared to other MMOs that are super fantastical. fantasy and stuff, this actually looks more real. Let's go ahead and help her.
And I will thank the gods each dawn that you found me here. Come then, to the city. Maybe once we're safe, I'll reward you for your efforts.
Right.
I'll never forget your help.
Alright, so now we have to escort her to the actual city. So now that I got off from the basics, let's first just kill some of these little pirates or whatever they are. I want to mention that you can actually do fatalities in this game, and that was like another thing that made this game so great and badass, and I guess above 18 years old. There's like many different types of fatalities. Let me see if I can actually do a fatality in this guy. The way that you do it is that you can see that I actually got a new skill on the number 4 here. It's called Sweep. If you actually do the skill as a killing blow on the boss, I mean not on the boss, but on any character you can see here. I hope you guys could see that as well. It's a little bit laggy there, but it'll get better over time. You actually perform a fatality, which would be like a little cinematic kill on the target, and it depends on what actual weapon you're carrying. If you're carrying a sword, then you might like cut off his arms and head, or if you have a hammer, you will bludgeon his head, and all of this little cinematic like make your screen have like a lot of blood and stuff, and it's just very gory stuff, which obviously made the game so cool. There's like many different types of fatalities. It depends on the weapon, depends on the monster, and there's different variations of what you could do to the guys. Right, let's see here. Alright, sorry about that. I had a little lag spike, my internet cut off for a second there. But now that I have explained the little basics of the game, I'm gonna go ahead and explain a little bit about the story. All MMOs are obviously known for their stories, and this game is no different. It obviously doesn't compare to WoW in terms of story, but it's actually pretty good. It's decent enough. As you can see in the beginning, I was an actual slave. My ship was attacked. They didn't really show what kind of attack it was or anything, but you could see on the little loading screen that it was in flames and it got attacked, and I'm actually stranded on this island. Now what I have to do here is actually find the slave trader, the actual boss of the ship, and kill him before he actually tells anyone that there's like a bunch of slaves that might be lost in the city that could cause problems, and probably they wouldn't let me enter the actual city if they know I'm a slave. So I have to take care of that guy. So I equip some badass boots. Oh, I got a little club here on my ears and my shirt. I don't have to be naked around. Sweet. Alright, so what I have to do is actually find that slave trader and beat the shit out of him. Plus, as you can see, I mean, the actual combat is very fluid, really smooth too. You the mobs actually die relatively easy. Like, it makes you feel like you really are a badass, some sort of hero or whatever. Which is what they wanted to do on those Heroes game, the Champions. They were actually talking about how they wanted to make it just like this game, where you actually beat everything really easy. Alright, sorry about that. It's just because it's the very beginning of the game. The things are it's simple. I mean, you really won't die unless you really suck. But it does get a little harder later on. But still, you'd probably beating a bunch of guys at the same time. Probably or 2 or so without a problem. 3, then it starts to become a problem. But that's the cool thing about this game, that you really do feel like a badass just doing fatalities to everyone and just destroying whatever gets on your way. But you just got a new ability, a little slam, knocks the target down. let's see here. So the class that I'm actually using is the Barbarian. I guess it's the most iconic character in the series. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain a little more about the actual story. The game is based on a novel made by this guy called I guess his last name was Howard. He made this. I guess it was a real popular novel called Conan the Barbarian. I'm pretty sure you guys know Conan. I've released a few games out of him. He was this barbarian. So he was this barbarian that became king by killing a bunch of fiends and ghouls and stuff. It's a pretty nice novel, but I guess it was known because of his setting. I mean, you will be able to see if you play this game, the actual setting and the environment, the world is actually pretty well done. I mean, there's a lot of story behind it, and it's really nice to actually get into. My inventory is full. If you're like into the stories of the games that you play, which you should be, you would totally be interested in the story of this game. But yeah, I mean, so Conan was a barbarian, and that's the class that I'm actually using. In this game, the barbarian is pretty much like the full-on melee DPS character. I mean, you can be like the usual tanky characters, which would be the guardian. There are many different types of mages and assassins, rogues, and whatnot. I'll get into that a little later on, where I'll show you guys all the different classes that you can actually choose from. But here we have this slave master. Let's see what it has to say.
Who stands before Sadur?
Damn, that's a pretty sexy voice there, bro.
It seems the gods smile upon Sadur this day. I thought I was the only one to survive, but it seems some of my property was spared. Come, I'll clamp irons around your throat and put you to work, slave.
Damn. You look like you lost a fight with a bear, you fat piece of filth.
It was no bear, a creature. Some kind of beast. But it's no matter. The gate here is locked, and that demon guards the key in the ruins nearby. Come, we must be swift. While it feasts upon your flesh, I'll take the key and make my way to the city. Are you ready?
Man, he really is not subtle at all. I mean, he probably can figure out that I can beat the shit out of him. I mean, I'm a muscular dude, and he's like this fatty man. No, Sadur, it'll be a pleasure to beat you to death, you son of a whore.
You would die if you tried to taste that pleasure. Sadur is a practical man. He will make you a promise. If you survive the demon's feast, he will take you to Tortage and sell you there. Is that not fair, slave?
Man, but this guy can't reason at all. Let's just kill this guy.
Brave words from one who has worn a slave's, though you bear the mark, and are worth much to me. Slave Master Ulrich despises troublesome property. You will not sacrifice yourself to the demon? Bah! The great serpent shall judge your worthless soul in the afterlife.
Right, so this guy's like not reasoning to... I mean, not... doesn't want to help me out like at all. So let's just go ahead and kill this son of a bitch. So I guess this would be like the first real boss of the story. Let's go ahead and kill his fat ass. Alright, so he gave us full. So I'm actually playing the free version of this game. Like before, it was actually one of those subscription model games, just like, you know, World of Warcraft. I guess I'll be making a lot of comparisons to World of Warcraft. It's the most popular one, probably the one that you guys can relate best to. But they actually went free to play last year, sometime around May. And there's obviously a bunch of limitations with what you can do on the free version of the game. and there's classes that you cannot pick, areas that you cannot go into. But you can see my inventory is kind of limited, so I can only get like half of the actual inventory, as far as I can see. Let's go ahead and kill this guys. Now, I'm actually going to discuss a little bit more about the actual, what you actually get later on when you're leveled up. This game obviously has PvE elements and PvP elements, just like any MMO. The max level, when it was actually released, was level 70. By now there's a bunch of expansions on it. I think there's one or two, probably two. So they have probably increased the actual level cap. But I'm gonna talk about it with my experiences when it actually came out. I was really into MMOs back in the day. By the time that this game actually came out, 2008. It was probably August 2008. This game was actually all about the PvP elements. It was actually marketed that way. It was supposed to be like the best PvP game out there. I mean, you know, you can see that the graphics are ridiculous. The actual combat system lends itself for great PvP. I mean, think about it. If you can move your shield around and everything, it sounds pretty competitive, and it was supposed to have like siege, like you would actually own a castle, and you could like other guilds would actually come and try to destroy your castle, and you had to defend it, and you could like drive like some sort of like siege machines, like catapults and stuff. I mean, it was actually like the PvP man's dream in this game. Sadly, I mean, this game was pretty popular back in the day when it actually came out. It made a lot of sales and everything. The problem about this game, though, is that they never actually gave in to what they promised, and that's the reason why it's not popular nowadays. And that's what made me so sad about this game. It had so much promise. It was released. I think it was around September or August or so, 2008. It didn't even have PvP. Like it was actually promoted and advertised all about the PvP and all that it was going to bring to the table. But they didn't actually had PvP when they released. Like they didn't have any type of battlegrounds, any type of siege mode, or and none of the PvP actually worked in the game. Like if you wanted to actually PvP, you had to like. You had to gank other people. So ganking is pretty much just like leveling people. Like people that are leveling around, and you actually had to kill them, go and kill them while they were questing, and that's ganking, and that's what you actually had to do if you wanted to PvP. So the last city, which was I guess leveling from level 68 to 70, was the last leveling stage. It was more of a ganking stage. Like people actually go there to PvP. It was really hard to actually level up those last two levels because you were always getting ganked from everyone. And I mean, you can't really blame them. There was no PvP in the game. But I mean, they eventually included the PvP, but it was too late. Like people had already left, disappointed with the game. And I mean, when you do leave a game, an MMO usually never come back. Obviously, that doesn't relate to WoW because everyone comes back to WoW, but that's the joke there. But yeah, that was the sad part about this game. Even though it was really great. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut off. I don't have much time here. I'm gonna cut up until I can reach the actual city, and I can show you guys there. Alright, welcome back. You guys can see here the actual city. Now, this is the city of the starting area, right? All of this area that I've been going about, and that you would be going about if you actually proceeded with the game. It's only the starting area. I believe you get up until level 20, and then you actually go to the mainland. You can see in the map all the actual starting area. It's all this. But so this is like the first little city that you actually go into. It's not the big one that you'll be going to later. But yeah, man, you can see here it looks pretty good. It's like a little island city they made. It's pretty cool. But yeah, here you go. Now I'm actually running short on time here, and I mean there's a lot to show in this game, but obviously I won't be able to show everything that this game has to offer. But I'll leave you guys to actually find that out by yourself. All that I can really say is that I mean, you guys should definitely try this game out. If you're not really into MMOs, I mean, you haven't played one and you actually have the computer to handle Age of Conan, then I suggest you give it a try. I mean, it's free. You really don't lose anything. It's a big download, but I mean, it's definitely worth your while. I mean, again, it's free, so you won't really be losing anything. So I'll be making a second video for this game just to show some of the things that I didn't show outside of the game, like all the classes and the little talents that you have here, and a little bit of a bonus that you guys will see later. So right, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and hope you are liking bite-sized gaming. Rex out.